Welcome back, folks. Hello out there. Welcome back to the Wolf Crypto Podcast, where we break down some of the latest trends and developments here in the blockchain, cryptocurrency, and Web3 world. Today, we're diving into one of, I would say, the most anticipated events that we've had, probably as of recent here in the crypto world, the Pi Network Mainnet launch, which happened back on, I believe it was the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. This was a huge, huge deal, especially if you happen to be a part of the project, because we've been waiting. So I would say after about years of development and a massive community buildup, Pi Network has finally launched its mainnet. But of course, what does this really mean for the pioneers, investors, and basically the whole broader crypto space? Is Pi Network, the future of decentralized finance, or could this be just another overhyped project? Stay tuned here, folks, because we're gonna be covering obviously just Pi overall, from its mining model to its future potential in the ecosystem. Mind you, before we kind of really dive into what is Pi Network, we're talking about a 6-year waiting period here, folks. So I really want you kind of to grasp that we've been waiting for 6 years for this to really basically come into fruition, to have some type of value. Quiet is kept. There was a lot of speculation. There's still speculation going on currently when it comes to the price. They got listed on a couple of different exchanges. People were panicking, including myself, on how we're going to get the Pi from our wallet to be able to go ahead and send to maybe an exchange to go ahead and sell it. Because I'm pretty sure, depending on your activity, how much you mine, you made a nice chunk of change. And this is where that whole discipline part comes in. So for those of you that were really disciplined, coming in there daily, grinding that bad boy out, I can't lie, I commend y'all, because I should have been doing the same. But there was a time and point where, you're kind of mining, you're thinking, is this going to be anything? You just kind of, from speaking from personal experience, I kind of got lazy because I figured, it might not turn into anything, because we've had so many ups and downs and, hype, speculation. You name it. If you want to find something crazy, you're going to find it in the crypto space. And for those of you that stuck with it and grinded every day, because I've seen some people's Pi balances, and I got to say, I'm like, oh, I'm a little jealous. Oh, why am I just, it hurts, because I'm just like, oh man, I could have had more. Currently my value of my Pi, because some of it hasn't been transferred over yet, and that's due to because of people that are in my circle. You haven't completed your KYC on the verification that needs to be done before the mainnet countdown's over. You're going to lose out on those particular tokens. And I'm kind of curious to see what happens to those tokens. Do they just get, lost in the crypto space? Do they get, recirculated into the token supply? Not entirely too sure. But let's go ahead. For those of you that might be new, you're probably thinking, what the heck is Pi? So Pi Network was founded, in 2019 by a group of standard PhDs. And they had the goal of making cryptocurrency basically accessible to everyday people. Like Bitcoin, which obviously requires power-hungry proof-of-work mining, the Pi Network introduced a mobile mining concept, basically making this possible for anyone with a smartphone to mine Pi by simply pressing that button once per day. And they're not joking here, folks. It is pretty simple. You download it here on your phone, and it just kind of mines in the background. Now, there are some people out there that speculate, they might be doing something with your data, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Won't really get into that too much, but The Pi ecosystem relies on something called security circles. It's a trust-based model where users verify each other to improve network security. This approach helped Pi grow to over 45 million engaged pioneers. Now, after years of being in an enclosed system, Pi has finally transitioned to the mainnet. But what does this really mean for users? So let's go ahead and let's tap into some of the specifics here. Obviously, their white paper has changed. They originally made a white paper in 2019, then made some updates to their white paper like back in 2021, just to kind of give you guys that little tidbit there. So obviously the mainnet launch was a huge milestone because it means Pi is finally transitioning to a fully decentralized blockchain. This marks a shift from pre-mainnet mining, which focused on user growth, to a more structured reward system. So some of the key changes with the mainnet when it comes to the token supply cap, the pre-mainnet Pi had a undefined total supply, meaning there was no set cap on how much Pi could actually be mined. Now that total supply is capped at 100 billion Pi. 80% of this will go to community, while 20% is reserved for the Pi core team. As far as some of the mining adjustments, pre-mainnet mining relied on referrals and security circles. So for those of you that might want to join my circle, I'll have all those good old links and all that good stuff for y'all. Now, the mainnet introduces a new mining formula that includes contributions beyond just referrals, which include running a node, app usage, and then locking up Pi for stability. And we're going to harp on the locking up here for a little bit because I actually, I don't know if it's a mistake or I don't know what's the best word to kind of describe it because I actually locked mine up for about a good 3 years. Yeah, it kind of hurts because initially I was just thinking, oh, let me just kind of push some buttons, maybe get some boosts, referrals, or rewards or whatever. Because didn't really, like I said, dig that deep into it because I didn't think we were going to get to where we are here to today, as far as actually now being able to have value behind the tokens that you've been mining. But I believe locking up does have some incentives behind it. Now, the system-wide base mining rate will now be adjusted dynamically based on the total supply. So as far as the KYC and migration, Pi users, and if you haven't done this yet, like I said, your time is coming to the end. So as far as completing your KYC, know your customer verification to migrate their Pi to the mainnet. KYC is crucial to ensure that only real human users transfer their Pi and prevent bots from gaming the system, which is always kind of nice because, AI bots and all that good stuff out there, that does tend to get abused a little bit in certain cases, right? As far as exchange listings and liquidity pools, they do have, or say they are listed on a couple of, I would say, solid exchanges. No really like big time ones. Like I don't think they're listed on Binance yet, but I think I've seen like talks of them potentially getting listed on Binance. But they are on a couple of markets currently right now, and I'm pretty sure that will go up. I know they're on OKX, BitGet, MXC, Gate.io. So those are some of the ones that, like I said, they're not big time exchanges, but there is some volume. There is some liquidity going through. It's happening. And quiet is kept. A lot of people were thinking, okay, what's going to be the price? Everybody was trying to predict the price. And funny enough, originally, once it got listed and all that good stuff, what happened, price took a heavy dump, and emphasis on the heavy. And I want to say it was like around, the 50 to 60 cent range. That's not the case. Currently right now, at the current prices, right now it's at $2.84. Mind you, everything else has been taking a huge, huge dump. But yet Pi is it's doing some things. And it's kind of funny because I feel like the whole, I would say, reaction from the audience or people that have been involved with Pi, a lot of people were just like, oh, it's going to hit zero. It's not going to hit some of these, prices that some people were predicting. But it's like, I mean, after 6 years, yeah, I feel like you got to give them some time because, shoot, some of us weren't thinking we're going to get to the place that we currently are in today. And funny enough, I had did a video about Pi, like, I think it was, it was a while back. I want to say like back in 2021. Just kind of like just basically talking about how you can run a node, you can mine some Pi, mine crypto. Obviously, the hopes were at that time, I'm thinking, all right, eventually, all this mining of this crypto that we're doing, eventually, maybe we will get to a point where this thing is going to have some value. And here we are today. The biggest question I would say is, where will the price be probably the next couple of months? Because I know there's a lot more development going on. I know they're going to have like Pi exclusive apps that are going to be free to use for the users that are apparently using the Pi. I want to say the browser app. So they do have two different apps. You got the Pi, just regular app where you go ahead and mine your cryptocurrency, mine the Pi, and then you got their Pi browser app, which is a little bit different, kind of like their ecosystem of where you have your wallet, and then you'll be able to kind of interact and do other things on that as well. I know 5% of the total supply is reserved for liquidity pool just to ensure smooth transaction within the Pi ecosystem. Obviously, the big question is, when will Pi be listed on Binance, Coinbase, some other exchanges that are big time? I would even throw out like maybe Gemini or something like that. Now, the hype versus the reality. Can Pi succeed? That's kind of the question that I would say a lot of us would like to know the answer to that. I would say only time will tell. And the ironic part about the time is because, I mean, like I said, 6 years, folks. 6 years is a long time, I would say. It's the Pi network's growth is impressive, but we can break down some strengths and concerns. Obviously, the strengths are the massive adoption, over 45 million users, which quiet as kept. It doesn't really sound like a lot, maybe in the crypto space, but that has a lot of people and still room for growth. Pi does have a strong global community. The mobile mining accessibility, anybody can mine it as long as you got a smartphone. So as far as the barriers to entry, there really is none. The real world utility potential, that's going to be I would say the biggest one. Can Pi apps gain traction? Can it become a major peer-to-peer payment system? Because I know that has been kind of flowing around. And if that is something that can be done, then I would say sky's maybe the limit when it comes to Pi and just this whole token price and where it could possibly go. Concerns obviously will be, are people going to be dumping as soon as their Pi is tradable? I feel like we've kind of already seen a little bit of that early on, as soon as it got listed. Like I said, depending on how much you mine. I mean, if you felt like that was a good enough bag for you to go ahead and get out and do what you need to do, I mean, hey, that's totally up to you. And then obviously, can Pi Network sustain real world demand, or will this just all be speculation? And the regulatory concerns, will that slow down the adoption? We don't know, but those are some things kind of just, I would say it's kind of over the head of Pi right now as far as what we might or might not see in the near future. But as far as my take, my predictions, again, I'm not a financial advisor, so anything that I'm saying or speaking on is not financial advice. So make sure you guys do your own homework, do your due diligence. Short term, we're going to see a lot of hype, a lot of speculation, and I would say a lot of price volatility as Pi hits exchanges. Just touching on what I was saying earlier, the community was very, like I said, some were disappointed when they start to see that first Pi pricing, the initial pricing. Now, as it climbs almost pretty much at the $3 rank, I'm pretty sure the hype and speculation is only going to go up from here. I know I did see some predicting it to get to $20. As far as, like I said, this short term stuff here. Now, long term, I have seen some pretty interesting long term price prediction. Now, if Pi can build a real ecosystem where users can spin and earn Pi, I would say this has a lot of potential to be more than just another altcoin. And long term, meaning price predictions I've seen was somewhere from anywhere from like 1,000 and up. Again, this is long term, so we're talking about at least a couple of years, give or take. Sometimes long term in crypto can be a little bit shorter, but if this can become an ecosystem, like I said, where people are actually using it as a peer-to-peer payment system, that really, really helps the token out a lot because of that utility. And again, you can mine this crypto like right now. And as you build up your security circle and all that stuff like that, that's just going to boost your rewards. And from there, I'm actually kind of curious to see, now that we're going to be on the mainnet, how is that going to really all work as we mine Pi here? So, as far as my final take, if you're a Pi holder, I would say, consider holding. Especially if you've been mining and holding for this long. If these guys are able to deliver on some of the things that they've talked about and their vision, I feel like people that are selling right now, they might regret it. They might regret it just based off of what I've seen history wise when it comes to crypto and some of these coins that end up taking off. But Pi is going to be a real fun project to watch. Obviously, probably going to really dive into looking into running a node and seeing how that all works and how that could potentially boost rewards. Because again, that was another little feature that's going to be part of the new and improved ways of earning Pi on the mainnet going forward here, since we're no longer on the test net. I would say that's going to really wrap it up here on this particular episode of the Wolf of Crypto podcast, as we covered Pi's journey from mobile mining to the mainnet, its new token model, and whether it has real long-term potential. Again, I've been with Pi for, I would say, a minute. It's been a minute. And again, if you look at current prices, what my value is right now, it's about for the tokens I have, about 2,000. So not too shabby. Still trying to see if I can get my other tokens verified and migrate to the mainnet before the timer runs out and it's all pretty much gone. Now, kind of curious, for those of you that might be tuning into this episode, are you guys holding or selling your Pi? If you have any comments, thoughts, drop those down in the section. And then you can always follow, subscribe, leave a review. Podcast is available pretty much on YouTube, Spotify, and all other major podcast platforms. But again, folks, if you're not mining Pi and you want to go ahead and start to get you some Pi, because again, now we finally have that value. So if you were waiting until this day, well, now you have it. Go ahead, tap on in. Appreciate y'all tuning in, listening to this episode here on the Wolf of Crypto podcast. Again, I'm your host, the Wolf of Crypto. And until the next time, y'all take it easy. Peace.